We're looking at the XRP institutional supply shock, an analysis of a major signal pointing directly to the 2026 wealth transfer.
So let's get right to it. The stake here is incredibly high. If you miss this institutional signal, you risk jeopardizing your entire portfolio's position ahead of the fast-approaching 2026 wealth transfer.
Now, here's the twist. While the mainstream media is busy distracting you with day-to-day price noise, institutional players are quietly in the background, building what can only be described as a perpetual buying machine for XRP.
And my promise to you is this. By the end of this briefing, you won't just hear about it. You're going to understand the exact mechanism behind this coming supply shock, and you will see the hard on-chain validation for yourself.
All right, topic number 1, the perpetual buying machine. Now, the key player you need to know about here is a firm called Evernorth. And get this, it's led by Ashish Birla, who is the former general manager of Ripple. They are strategically positioning themselves to become the MicroStrategy of XRP.
So how are they doing it? Well, the Evernorth Treasury strategy is a brilliantly simple yet incredibly powerful three-step loop. First, they acquire a significant treasury of XRP. Second, they don't just let that capital sit there. They deposit it into a protocol called Doppler Finance to generate yield. And third, and this is the absolute key, they use the proceeds from that yield to acquire even more XRP right off the open market. It's a self-reinforcing cycle of continuous buying pressure.
And we're not talking about some risky, high-flying retail yield. This is a stable, institutional-grade 5 to 8% annual return. Now, you have to understand, in a world where traditional finance is starved for yield, a stable 5 to 8% on a core settlement asset, well, that's exactly the fuel needed for this perpetual acquisition engine. And it works by systematically pulling supply right off the market.
Look, the algorithm suppresses this kind of truth. These are the institutional-level maneuvers that simply do not make headlines. To protect your portfolio from being blindsided by what's coming, you need to subscribe and hit the bell icon for Crypto Global News. This is a necessary step for portfolio protection.
Okay, so now we understand the strategy. Let's move to topic number 2 and look at the actual infrastructure that makes all this possible, which leads directly to the institutional supply shock. See, a buying machine of this magnitude requires some serious Wall Street-grade plumbing to operate at scale. And this is that plumbing. Doppler Finance has built out an institutional vault user interface. Let's be very clear. This is not for retail investors. This is built to handle multi-million XRP deposits. It gives institutions direct access to passive income protocols, provides segregated custody solutions, and it generates that yield directly on Ledger. This is, for all intents and purposes, the infrastructure for institutional DeFi.
Now, all of this activity, locking up massive amounts of XRP to generate yield, it leads directly to a classic economic event called a supply shock. It's a disruptive market event where a sudden, sharp decrease in the available supply, driven by these institutional lockups, results in rapid, upward price discovery. It's simple. The supply is being taken offline. If you want to see the raw documentation on these institutional vaults and the protocols they're using, you need to join our private Telegram channel. That's where we post the primary source material, the unfiltered intelligence for serious investors. The QR code is right there on your screen. Which brings us to topic number 3. This is the crucial validation I've been talking about, the $88 million yield signal. This is the hard on-chain data I promised you, the proof that this institutional capital allocation isn't something that's going to happen, it's happening right now. $88 million. That figure represents the new all-time high for the circulating supply of something called FXRP. Now, what is that? Well, FXRP is simply XRP that has been bridged over to the Flare network, which is a smart contract platform built to work with XRP. So think of it like this. Capital is moving from one district to another to be put to work. This isn't a forecast. It's a verifiable, on-chain metric proving that significant capital is flowing into this ecosystem's yield-generating protocols as we speak. So let's connect the dots here. What is this data screaming at us? It shows the FXRP supply is hitting all-time highs for one reason. Investors are earning that solid 5 to 8% APY. This means capital is actively bridging into the ecosystem to earn yield. It's not exiting to cash. This is the ultimate signal of conviction. Sophisticated positions are literally being paid to wait for the major market shift that the full ISO 2022 implementation will bring. But listen, XRP isn't the only asset being positioned for this shift. There is a third,
government-approved digital asset that you absolutely need to have on your radar. I break down that specific asset in this video right here.
Stay ahead in the crypto market. Subscribe now for the latest global news and updates.